Yankees are back home, sleeping in their own bed. How important and how tight does this defense have to be? Because I'm sure they're going to make some adjustments now that they're home.
Um, yeah, we just got to keep playing our game. Doesn't matter where we're at, doesn't matter the stadium, the location. We got to go out there and play Dodger baseball. We got to prepare, do little things correct, and you just play a clean game. And at the end of the day, if we do that, we trust in the roster that we have.
Shohei is back in the lineup. I guess he never left the lineup officially. How does that help this offense just to continue their dominance at the plate?
Well, if you keep the best player in the game in the lineup, that's usually, it's usually good for your team. Just having him in there, obviously, it's a big guy to have in there. Helps a lot. He's had some big moments for us, and we're obviously expecting a couple more big moments out of him.
Jack on your left, Max.
Just one more on Shohei. Like, how concerning was that scene the other night when he left, and how much do you guys kind of like pay attention or worry about that these last couple of days about his status and just if he was going to be in there today?
He texted the whole team as we were on our way to the airport and said he was going to be fine, and that was it. He said he was going to play, and so we all just put it to the side at that moment. We all said, all right, he's got us. We'll be ready for him to be in the lineup.
The text just like literally said, I can play, basically.
I mean, there was more to it than that, but yeah,
Good.
Come on.
We'll go to the third row on your right, Kirsten.
Max, you've been very adamant just this entire postseason that the mindset is every day it's 0-0. It doesn't matter that you guys are 2 games up in this World Series at the moment. How important just is that approach, and how have you found, whether it's been in years past and your guys' success in the World Series, or just kind of with taking things in that sense?
Yeah, and that's something that's been preached to me for, a very long time, and I try to bring that to everyone else, and that's something that this organization's always done a good job with. And it's that, whether you win or lose the previous game, it has no effect on the next day. When you show up, it's a 0-0 ball game. You control the things that you can control, and in this game, that's not a whole lot, but there are certain things you can control, and the biggest ones are how you prepare for the game, how you game plan for the game, how you show up. Do you do your routine? Do you do the things you need to do to make sure you're ready for the game? And so those are the biggest things we try to preach. And then, stuff's going to happen in the game. And that's why I say you control what you can control, because you can't control the game. There's no telling what's going to happen. Round bat, round ball, you've heard us say that. Ball might hit a rock in the infield, might catch a seam in the air and do something weird in the outfield. There's no telling what could happen during the game. So you control the things you can control, and for us, that's just how we prepare.
We'll stay in that same spot on your right, Max.
Max, in regards to just different guys stepping up and meeting the moment throughout this postseason, Dave said back at Camelback, he looked at you guys and said, no matter what position you are, no matter what your spot is on the roster, that's what it's going to take to win a World Series, to deliver in the biggest of moments when the pressure is highest. I just was wondering if you remember that kind of speech from him and how you think it's manifesting itself now.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe his exact words are, you need to want to be the guy. And that's why we're all here. We all want to be in the situation. We all want to be the guy in that moment. And to win a championship, it's going to take more than just one guy. It takes everybody on the team. From the guys that aren't even active to the guys that are active. You guys heard me talk about Brent Honeywell throwing to Mookie Betts in San Diego. That's it takes the entire organization to win a championship, and so that's definitely something that sticks out to you when your manager calls you out like that in spring training, saying, "Hey, you guys all need to want to be the guy in that situation. You can't leave it up to someone else." And it's proven true already how many different guys have come through in big moments for us.
Second row on your right, Tyler, then Jim.
Max, you've been here a while now with the Dodgers. There are obviously some advantages the Dodgers have, but there's never been a letdown year after year. They're always there. What do you think has kept the Dodgers sort of in this position to get this opportunity every year, besides just the payroll?
I mean, it's the entire organization. It starts up top with Andrew and Gomes. Actually, it starts above them with the ownership, and then it goes down into to Andrew and to Gomes, and then it goes into Doc. They want to win. They've created the culture of winning. They've created a good culture in the clubhouse to where we bring in guys every year, and within 2 days they can just tell a difference how it is in the clubhouse that it doesn't matter about you. It matters about this team. It matters about winning. Everyone's going to do whatever it takes to be able to help this team win. And if it gets to a point where you can't help the team win, then it's time for someone else to step in. And guys understand that. You look at what Freddie did this postseason with taking 2 days off in big key moments for us. You're talking about an elimination game in San Diego, and then a chance to clinch at home. He took those 2 games off, and that's just understanding it's about the team. It's not about you.
But Jim up front on your right.
Yeah, Max. Jim Hill, KCAL9 in Los Angeles. What is it about you and your teammates that gives you such great resolve that you have short memories when things happen in a negative fashion?
It starts in spring training, and that goes back to what I was saying, how when you preach the right things every single day, you create that culture, and that's not something that you can just decide to turn on in July or August or you have to spend the entire year trying to do that. You have a tough loss the night before, it doesn't matter. You show up the next day, you have a chance to do something special. Every single day you have a chance to do something special in this game, regardless of what happened the night before, or the day before, the day before that. There's always a chance to do something special to help your team win in this game.
Up front on your left, Max.
Hey, Max. Obviously, the stakes are very different than when you guys were here in June, but I was just curious, does making the overall trip here from the time you land to you get on the field and everything, doing it earlier, does the team find any comfort with the familiarity of the situation?
Wrong guy to ask. I wasn't here for that trip.
Ah, okay.
But, I was just in New York about a week and a half ago, so that kind of helps out.
Go to Ron up front on your right, Max.
You mentioned Shohei sent the text. Did he send the text himself in English or through Will?
No, it's himself. Will's not in our group chat.
Okay.
That group chat's for us. That's for the players. What happens in there is for the players. So that was all show.
Oh, how was his English in texting?
It was great.
Go to Gabe in the third row, and then Tim.
Max, what has it been like to watch Freddie have to rehab an injury while also performing at this level and being able to add a little more to his game every subsequent week that goes by, and now it looks like he's pretty much Freddie again?
Yeah, he looks pretty close to normal. It's been pretty special. You're talking about a 6-week injury that he came back from in essentially 4 or 5 days. He obviously wasn't himself, but you're talking about a name like Freddie Freeman in the lineup. That does a lot. And just having certain guys in the lineup does a lot, because the other team doesn't ever know how a certain guy's feeling. You can obviously look out there and see, but you have no idea what he's actually feeling like. And for example, you might try to have a lefty come in and face him, and he hits a grand slam. You have no idea what that guy is actually going to be like in the box. You just know that guy's been doing it for 15, 16 years now and been one of the most consistent hitters in all of baseball. And, that's something that it's huge having a guy like that in the lineup.
Standing diagonal, Tim.
Following up on Ohtani, given that he seemed to be in significant pain as he came off the field the other night, he had a partially dislocated shoulder. What was your reaction and the team's reaction and surprise or lack of surprise that he is in there tonight?
No lack of surprise that he's in there. Obviously, it was very tough in the moment to see him in pain like that. But we were was that the 8th inning when that happened? I don't even remember. 7th inning. So we were 2 innings away from winning that ball game. We knew we had to refocus, and obviously it sucked seeing Show in that kind of pain. But we still had a job to do in that moment. After the game, we all went and checked immediately on him. It was almost like just a buffet line going in there to try to see how he was doing. But it's tough in the moment, but we still had to refocus and win the game.
We'll stay back there with Clinton.
Max, what have you thought of Mookie's season in terms of position changes and lineup stuff and all that? Just how he's been able to maintain his level.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been very unselfish. He's been, we've asked him to do a lot, and he hasn't complained about any of it. You're talking about one of the best right fielders in the game defensively. There was a conversation had that he wanted to go back to the infield, and he did that thinking it was going to help the team. And then he had to change to shortstop to help the team, and he didn't complain about it once. He went out there, and I think he actually really enjoyed having to put in all the hard work to improve at it. And when one of your superstars is willing to do that, it sends a big message to your team that everybody's all in together, and it doesn't matter who you are. You better be willing to do something to help this team. Doesn't matter where you need to bat, what position you need to play, what you're called on to do, pinch hit. It doesn't matter as long as you're helping this team win. And when your superstar does that, it sends a big message.
4 rows back on your left, Fabian.
Yeah, Max, how does a group become collectively good at controlling the strike zone, and how important is that against a guy like Clark Schmidt tonight?
Yeah, I think it's just being stubborn to your approach. That's something I've always said for myself in my strike zone discipline, is just trying to be stubborn to your approach. And, I think we've had a good year of, really enforcing that message to a group of guys. And, when your group starts to see it work, it's easier for guys to buy into it. And when you've seen it work the entire year, then obviously the whole group knows that it's something that works well. And then you get into the postseason, and it's something that we've struggled with a little bit the last couple of years. And so, obviously it's questioned whether or not we can keep doing that. But to have the success we've had, I think now no one questions it for us. And so it's just being stubborn to your approach and understanding really what you're wanting to do in the batter's box. And that's obviously huge for anybody. Doesn't matter who you're facing. Obviously good stuff tonight, but you just got to be stubborn to your approach.
Other questions for Max? We'll go to Rosh up here.
Max, you've had so many guys go down, but when Tyler went down, it was something happened with these guys. Can you describe the mood of the team and what happened at that time?
Yeah, that was obviously that was late in the season, and it just felt like the entire year we kept getting dealt blow after blow, and then guys would come back, and then another blow, and then guys would come back, and it finally felt like we were turning the page and starting to see, more guys come back than go down, and then your big pitcher gets told he can't pitch the rest of the year, and that was kind of like, man, not again. It was just a big kick in the gut, and we had to have a big team meeting about it, and just remind everybody we still have numerous all-stars and Hall of Famers in this room. We can still go out there and do this, and obviously this sucks. We want Tyler to be out there, but we can still do this. We still believe in ourselves, and we had to have that meeting and go around the room and for everyone to look at themselves and say, yeah, we still have a very good roster, and we've dealt with a lot, and this is no different.
A couple last ones for Max. Jay, we'll get you the mic.
When you're talking about players that went down, you yourself went down in mid-May, and the Dodgers had a bit of a rough patch. Was there ever any point where you were concerned that you wouldn't be able to make it back and be part of this?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially you start rehabbing a couple of different times, and obviously that didn't go so well. You start worrying that the season's getting taken away from you a little bit, and it was a frustrating one for me. It's devastating to just have to sit there and watch and not be able to help the guys out. But thankfully, we were able to get on top of it at some point and come back. And, the whole focus was just make sure that I was going to be ready for October to help this team when it mattered most. And to be able to do that, it was very special to me. But, yeah, there was definitely multiple moments where I thought that that wasn't going to happen this year.
Anything else for Max? All right, Max, best of luck tonight. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.